Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday night live stream. So today, just like the thumbnail and title suggests, we're going to take a look at a $1 trillion network payment system and how they're coming over to crypto and digital assets. So we'll jump right into it, but first, a little public announcement. Guy and the team over there at Coin Bureau just launched their new channel called Coin Bureau Finance. And check this out. Their first video that they did, and they have a whopping 5,000 subscribers so far on the one video that they did, which is now 48 hours in, has 136,000 views. And I believe that video will probably get 1 million views. And if you haven't watched it yet, which I don't see why you would know about it, but it is a fantastic look at the politics and the nonsense that went on in Europe, why it collapsed, and the same thing is happening I see in other countries. It was a great rendition of what it was. And I got to tell you, a guy is pretty much just custom made for that type of channel. It is, honestly, it's sad. It's sad for Europe, and you just got to watch it. So check that out. I didn't link in the description. I just want you to search for Coin Bureau Finance. You can find it super simple to find. Just watch that one video, which will probably get 1 million. And then also, for all you Windows users, I use a Mac. I know Bots just dug up his old computer. So Bot, this is for you. This is CISA Cyber, and they are part of the some type of central department governments that takes a look at hacks and different parts of cybersecurity. And 27,000. They just put this out. Something CVE 2025-9287. I'm not a programmer guy, but is being actively exploited. Update Windows Server Update services now to reduce the risk of threat to actor achieving remote code execution with system privileges. I don't know what that is, but if you have Windows, just update the system so you don't get some kind of hack and lose all your funds. Anyhow, that's what we have. And I don't even know if that would affect cold storage or hot storage, but I have no idea. I just want you to be safe, because the worst thing ever is me knowing about that, not telling you, you don't update, and you're like, hey, I lost all my crypto. So take a look at that. And now let's get into today's top story. And there's a lot of things going on in the markets, and we're going to talk about, we're going to take a look at the CFTC. Looks like they've got a new person coming in. We're going to take a look at this. And also I want to take a look at a little trip down memory lane of how we were doing in October on the last two cycles. But this I think is important. Now, we talk a lot on this show about mass adoption and us moving into mass adoption and the happenings that are going in the digital asset space. This is big. If you're not from America, you won't know what Zelle is. Zelle is a type of peer-to-peer transaction app that usually integrates with a lot of the different banks here, and it's only US-based so far. And apparently, they're going to get into the stablecoin game, which, if you watch this channel for any length of time, you know my thoughts on stablecoins. It is the killer app. And all it really takes as far as stablecoins is for you to decide which rails it's going to be. And we'll take a look at the big four, as I call them, the best, which would be Binance Smart Chain, B, E, Ethereum, S, Solana, and T, Tron, the BEST. Those are the ones that are going to do pretty well. I'll take a look at the Visa data sheet so I can show you. Anyhow, before we go on, you have to ask yourself, well, how does Zelle compare to all the different network payment systems that are out there? Well, you got Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay. I have no idea what UnionPay is. Apparently, it's from China. But Visa and MasterCard, I'm very well versed in. They have been kicking me while I'm down with their fees for my entire adult life. And Visa, this is from 2023, has done $15 trillion in transaction volume. Now, I'm sure it's gone up a little bit in 2024 and 2025, even though we're not through it. But you can just take those numbers, 15 trillion, and that's what Visa has done for transactions over the year, for 1 year. MasterCard is done 9.2 trillion, and UnionPay, which is mostly inside China, is 23.4 trillion. So where does that leave Zelle? Well, Zelle does a paltry 1 trillion in payments processing, and that is only in the United States. So when they weigh in and say, you know what, we want to go global, and we're not going to do what Visa and MasterCard did. We're just going to go straight up with the stable coins. We're going to pick our own chain, and that's it. So here's what we have. I like where this is going. Early warning services, I guess, operates Zelle, the company, the transactions. This marks an important step in expanding the reach of Zelle globally by leveraging stablecoins. Zelle has been exploring issuing its own stablecoin, but it looks like they're leaning on to go to other rails. And the reason why I think this is because PayPal was doing the same thing. PayPal was leaning to saying, you know what, we're going to make our own stablecoin. Look what they did. They've made their own stablecoin, PYUSD, which is fine. But what are the rails? The rails are the BEST. They're Ethereum, Solana. I don't know if it's Tron and Binance, but I know it's Ethereum and Solana. So again, just take a look at those 4 rails, pick one of those, and they're going to probably build on top of that. And then, no, I guess that was it. Man, I'm doing my job fantastically today. So I just want to round this up with just one thing. And of course, where I get that BEST. I know you're sick of hearing about it, but if you just take a look at the Visa on-chain analytics, and you guys take a look at this in DeFi Llama and another one, and it'll tell you the same thing. As far as like the volume that's being done for Tether and USDC, the big trains are Tron, Ethereum, Smart Chain, Solana, Base, I guess, and a little Arbitrum, things like that. But why I think this is big is this. It really comes down to the simplicity of everything. Here in Puerto Rico, if you want to pay anybody, you've got options. You got cash, you got check, and you got this thing called ATH, which is an app that most of the banks use. Except my bank doesn't use it. So what am I stuck with? Cash and checks. And when I want to pay somebody to something, they're like, yeah, we don't use that. We don't use that. Some people use PayPal. A lot of people don't. So wouldn't it be great in the future where instead of going, do you use PayPal? No. Do you use Zelle? No. Do you use ATH? No. Do you use something else? Do you use FimFam Phone? No, I don't use that either. It's all based on these apps. What if you could just say, what's your wallet address? And that's it. My wallet address is, robwolf.eth. That's it. Okay. Whatever app that you have, you can just use that and it can send via the Ethereum virtual machine across the way. It's the same thing with MetaMask. With MetaMask, I have on there, I have Binance, I have Ethereum, I have Solana, and I've got, I think, AVAX as well and some other ones. And they're all kind of grouped together. So I think that would be the future and make things so simple. And then, of course, if you're doing, cross-border payments, how easy would that be just to go, just give me your wallet, not the app that you're using, not which bank integrates with it, just give me the wallet that you have. And it doesn't matter which type that you're using, it'll all be some types of interchangeable and we'll be able to use it. That, I think, is the killer app moving forward. I could be wrong. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. I'm glad to see Zelle's wising up and going the stablecoin route instead of going the old-fashioned way. I think they're going to be a hit. Next up, there's a new CFTC. Looks like, and if they can get nominated, of course. President Trump taps Michael Seelig to lead CFTC amid push for crypto oversight. Before we get into this one, I remember when Gary Gensler was nominated and everybody was excited, including me. And I said, hey, this guy is great. I think he taught at MIT. He taught about what crypto and digital assets are. I think he even made a reference to XRP in that famous classroom talk that he gave. And he was the worst head of the SEC. Now, the CFTC is a little bit, obviously, Commodities Futures Trading Commission. They're a little bit different. They're all for commodities. But as I understand it, this is what President Trump wants to oversee for digital assets. And this guy might be good. But that's not just me saying that. That's people in the crypto community saying that. And hopefully this is another Gary Gensler nonsense. So anyhow, Trump picked Seelig on Friday for the CFTC chair, setting him to get nominated, hearings in the Senate. And if that happens, all the Democrats will shoot it down and the Republicans will say, yeah, let's go for it. And then he'll barely get approved. So, well, we'll see. Seelig currently serves as chief counsel for the SEC task force and was a partner specializing in crypto at the law firm Wilkie, Farr, and Gallagher. Again, this could be another Gary Gensler type of Trojan horse. But it was this comment, which I'm like, sigh of relief. This is from Jake Chervinsky. He's a chief legal officer at the Variant Fund. I've been following Jake for years. He is very pro-crypto, knows exactly what's going on in the space, knows the nuances, and this is what he said. There's nothing more important for crypto policy than the White House nomination of a new CFTC chair, and there's nobody better than Mike Seelig. I've had the honor of knowing Mike for years, and he's the real deal, a brilliant lawyer and proven leader, perfect for the role. Chervinsky said there was no one better. So that's great. I mean, I like to hear that. Hopefully we get somebody in there. I mean, the head of the SEC is pushing things forward. And then if you got two people, the CFTC, moving. I think even the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency is also pushing crypto and digital assets forward. This is a great powerhouse. Hopefully they can do what they were supposed to do in the last administration, but they messed it all up. So let's see what happens. Anyhow, that's good news, little good news. Here's some bad news. Ledger. I have a ledger. I have multiple ledgers. I'm not too happy about this. Ledger's new native multi-sig rollout sparks criticism over cash cow fee model. Now look, open and fair markets, right? We can't say like, okay, well, we don't want you to do this, I want you to do that. We'll let the market decide what they want. And if you want this, sure, I don't want this, but this is what we have. So many in the developer and security community criticize the company for attaching a $10 flat fee to standard transfers on this new upgrade and a 0.05% fee on ERC20 token transactions, in addition to normal network gas costs. So what they're doing is they're rolling out a multi-sig wallet. It's supposed to be, great and how it's action, very fast, very secure, and that's awesome. But if I'm reading this right, it's a $10 flat fee, and I was like, well, stories get things messed up. Let me go to the source, right? That's where we should always go to, the source. Like, as far as like even for scammers, go to the source. If somebody from Coinbase sends you a text message from a 6-3 nation code, which is, I think, India, you want to go to the source, which is Coinbase. So for this discussion, we go right to multisig.ledger.com, and it's true. Looks like there's a flat fee of $10 USD for all transactions except token transfers. So outside of token transfers, if you're moving one to the other, but there's a flat fee for all transactions, $10, okay? And then also, there's a variable fee of 0.05% of the transferred amount for token transfers on top of what you have to pay for gas. So that's what Ledger's doing. Not a big fan of that, but if you're like, okay, I'll pay it because I'm paying for security. Sure, that's what it is. I found this quite very funny. This is from Ledger CTO Charles Guillemet. I had him on the show once, very nice guy. He posted this on X, and he states, the best part of this new update was that Ledger multi-sig is free. No extra cost, no complexity. The following day, he clarified the statement, writing, there's a typo in the tweet. Multi-sig is a paid service. It's indicated in the doc, and announced during Ledger Open. So just so you know that with new multi-sig services, I gotta tell you, it looks very, very, very slick, very clean. This new wallet they have, you just got to pay to use it. Which, if you're just gonna, transfer your crypto off an exchange and hold it there for 30 years, it's probably right up your alley. But if you're moving things around, maybe you don't want to do that. Anyhow, that's up to you because you're smarter than me and what you want to do and what it all is. And then lastly, well, not lastly, I just want to show everybody where we're at, not in the cycle, just like where we were on the previous 2 cycles. And what I did was when in doubt, zoom out. Well, I'm going to zoom in for a second. And what I'm taking a look at, what is the date today? The 25th? I believe it is, 25th. So let's go back to the good old days, 2021. All the good times. Everything was going up. Altcoin season was everywhere. There was things called NFTs. There was great new DEXs coming out and DeFi farming, and it was great. And you couldn't lose because you were a genius and everything went up. Well, that doesn't happen anymore, it seems like. But if you take a look at like October 25th, going back, and of course there's different metrics. You can measure cycles like what I do, which is from the absolute bottom of the last cycle to the top. You can take a look at the halving to the top and how many days it is, and then extrapolate that data and put it over here. You can take a look at when the actual tops were. 2013, you're looking at December. 2017, roughly December. Actually, 2013 is November and December. It's like November 30th. And then 2017, December 15th. And then you take a look at, of course, in 2021, November. But I'm just looking at October 25th in the last 2 cycles. We were at 63,228, which was really, actually, it was really close to our all-time high, which was in April. Let me bring this up. Yeah, it was. April 13th, it was 63,576. So when we came over here, first of all, we dropped by 50%. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? April 15th, 63,000. Down to July. 3 months later, it was 50% drop. These kids think they got it tough. Anyhow, and then we come over here, October 25th, we were back at the, essentially, actually, I think we did, yeah, we're right at the all-time high. And then November, what was it? 8th, we hit the all-time high for the cycle, 67,000. And it took a little while to get back to that. So that's kind of a bummer when you look at it. But I want you to show you this. This is 2017. And in October 25th, the price of Bitcoin was only 5,883. And from October 25th to December 15th, in 2 months, it had quadrupled to almost $20,000, 3.75x, whatever you want to say, or 4.7. So I know it seems like this will never keep going, but you know, it's the days that you don't come in. I know Tom Lee talks about if you miss the 10 biggest days of Bitcoin, you essentially miss all of the gains. But we'll see how it rolls out. Maybe there's an extended cycle, but there's one more bad piece of news. I'm sorry. I have to give it to you. People are living paycheck to paycheck. This is from the Kobayashi letter. And it states this, and there's nuances to data, right? But it states the 67.6%, let's just say 68, of US consumers are now living paycheck to paycheck, according to the PYMNTS or Payment Survey. This percentage has risen by plus 10 points over the last 18 months. And here's how they break it down. I find this quite interesting. So if you live in paycheck to paycheck, that would be this top gray bar. And going back to 2023, we were already at 62%. So it's not like this is a big, huge catastrophe. Living paycheck to paycheck, yeah, most people have. It actually fell in 2024 to below 60, and now I think we're roughly at all-time highs for that one. But they broke that down from living paycheck to paycheck to, do you live paycheck to paycheck with difficulty paying bills, or do you live paycheck to paycheck without difficulty paying bills? And 43% are like, okay, I live paycheck to paycheck, I got nothing else to invest, but I get to pay everything, and I'm okay. 24% of the respondents said, you know what, I live in paycheck to paycheck, and it's very difficult to even hit the minimum threshold. So when we take a look at retail and we ask, why isn't retail here? There's a good reason for it. First of all, they got screwed over on meme coins. They didn't realize it was gambling, and they lost a bunch of money, and it's hard to get it back. And that's why they feel kind of scalded here. And I don't think they're going to come back until we start seeing some massive, massive all-time highs. It's like gold. No one gave a flying care in the world about gold until it hit all-time highs. And once it hit all-time highs, then retail was lining up around the corner to buy precious metals. And we'll see what happens again. I'm not going to hold my breath, and that's what it is. And lastly, I swear to God, this is the last one. We'll get in the Q&A. If you're in the Puerto Rico area on November 2nd, which is Sunday from 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, we're going to have a fundraiser for the local animal shelter here. It's one that I work with closely. I love those guys. And I'm just going to raise some funds. And you can come out. You can drink beer with me. I'll even buy you some food. And we'll have a great old time. And that'll be happening on November 2nd in La Placita, the San Juan Smokehouse. Excuse me, 1 to 5 o'clock. And if you would show up without a wrench, that would be great. And that's it for today, or tonight. So if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. What we talk about is time sensitive, but that's it for the news piece. Let's get into the Q&A. I'll answer all your questions the best of my abilities. And we'll take a look. Bodan. Rob, can you take a look into VWA by Ripple? What is that? Is that some kind of cross-border payment system that they have? Or is that their essential stablecoin? I'm sure it's awesome. Whatever, XRP to the moon. It's going to be great. Let's see. I think there'll be too much pushback to digital IDs in the UK. Big Monkey is correct, but boy, that whoever that guy is in the UK is is pushing it like it's like no tomorrow. And like it looks like you guys are going to be stuck with a digital ID for most people, and they're gonna opt into it. I think they pretty much said like you're either going to use the digital ID or you're going to pay like $80 every time you have to verify your identity. I know it seems pretty junky, but it looks like it's going to happen. Let's see. Nibbles. I just got back from a rave. How's it going? That's the kind of people that invest in crypto right there. Beach says, time to retire my ledger. And look, I mean, like, I'm not going to bash Ledger. I mean, I don't think it's a great corporate move, you know. You want to increase that revenue. It looks pretty good. And then, you know, they say, hey, look, you know, we got to pay a little extra, but you get this fantastic security. I got to tell you, I would pay for security, then lose everything. I know a lot of people who've lost everything. Maybe you have to weigh that in there. I'm not going to sign up for that service or whatever that is, but you know, that's up for you to decide. Let's see. There's name. A1 is correct. Big Monkey says quantitative tightening is going to be ending, and then the money printer is going to be turned back on. Also, there's a mention of stimulus checks, and during COVID, a lot of that got invested. Oh, okay. You're talking about last time. Yeah, I was like, stimmy checks. I doubt that's going to happen, but okay. But yeah, last time, great. Everybody got stimmy checks. We're stuck at home, and that's it. Yeah, here's a question for everybody. Who here thinks that we're going to see a rally towards the end of the year? Or do you think it's just going to be straight up sideways action until the end? I'd like to know that. Because, you know, if we look at the data and we look at where things are going, it is a weird thing. You know, JP Morgan, and run by Jamie Dimon, just came out and said that they're going to allow their clients to collateralize their crypto for loans. And it's funny because Jamie Dimon came out and in a Senate hearing said that if he had the authority, he would shut down Bitcoin because it's a Ponzi scheme. Now, 3 years later, his entire company is going to allow something that he believes should be shut down and is illegal and is worthless to collateralize loans. I mean, he's just the CEO. It's not like he can make everything happen, but you would think that the vision of the CEO would actually be followed quite closely. But I guess JP Morgan's like, I mean, the board members are like, yeah, Jamie, you're losing out here. We listened to you, and, you know, friends over there at BlackRock told us to do the exact opposite. And look how they're doing. You screwed us. So, yeah. I mean, the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, I think, is one of the most well-trending and well-done ETFs as far as revenue of all ETFs. So, I mean, what else do you want? Somebody believes in it. And Mullet has to rain on the parade. Jamie only wants to make money. Well, yeah, that's what he does. He's a banker. He's a banker's banker, and I can appreciate that. Gassy Fees, have your alerts ready for Ben's latest analyzed video. He's the only one who seems to have some actual brains. The rest just shill their coins. That's actually true. Ben has been right quite a bit. And we're both in this camp of, you know, we're not going to see massive elongated cycles. I can see a Q1 type of like a spillover into next year, but I don't see like Q2, 3, 4, 2026. I just don't see it. And we're on the same wavelength there. But we're going against a lot of other people that do not see it like that. I mean, Tom Lee's like extended cycles, and we're going to see 200,000 by the end of the year. We got Raoul Powell, you know, Q2 2026 is a lock. That's because of all business cycles. And a lot of the other pundits out there are saying, yeah, it's all going to be extended. We'll see who's right. We see who's right. Banana zone. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you've seen this, but the banana zone, as put out by Raoul Powell, that's what he thinks everything's going to be a big hockey stick going up. I got to tell you, I think this is the banana zone right now. It's not looking too good. Everything's chopping sideways and it's boring as hell. So that's we'll see how it goes. Andreas says, we sure are due for a correction. I don't think Trump's going to let the stock market crash into 50% pullbacks until 2028. No, especially as, you know, next year. Yeah, next year is midterms. So, I mean, he has to pull everything together to make sure that they not complete, but continue on with Congress and House of Representatives and Senate. Make sure that they control both. If they lose a bunch of seats, it's very hard to get your initiative pushed through as President of the United States here. We still are a democracy, besides people saying we are not. We are. So, let's see. Master Blaster is right. Cardano is the same price as it was in 2022. Yeah, Cardano is massively underperformed. Truly, truly massively underperformed. And one of the big problems that they have was, you know, they never really embraced stable coins like, say, Ethereum, like, say, Solana, like, say, even Binance, and like Tron did. And I think if they would have done that and not got so hung up on things, and especially the payments, there's a pay to play. It's just how business works. I'm sorry. And if they would have gotten on board, I think we would have been a lot more farther ahead than what we are now. And people will say, well, there is stable coins on Cardano. Yeah, have you seen the volume? It's like $2.50. It's like nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. I'm sure that I'll get picked on for that as people like cut that video. But it hasn't done nothing. It's like, I don't know, a couple $1 million. What's that going to do? Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not very happy with the Cardano and how they did things. But hey, maybe it'll be the big thing coming later. Maybe it's the plantain zone. So I don't want this. It's just that. I hear Trump is now mad at old Reagan clips. Yeah, he's mad at China, at Canada for putting that out. I think it was Alberta, if I'm not mistaken, governor over there. But yeah, there was some things taken out of context. There was a big part of that it was Reagan talking, but there was a big chunk that was not stated afterwards. And Reagan was actually a partial fan of tariffs. It's just that when he was talking about that, it was to move things around. I think it was or Japan. Forget the semantics of it all, but it wasn't truly in its perfect form. But yeah, Ontario. Oh, Canada. What are you going to do? I hope that you're in the States. Crazy hurricane over Jamaica. Really check. None of the matters if you're not around it. Use later. Yeah, there's a constant tormenta. There's a constant storm, a constant hurricane right around the corner. You know what it's like living in Puerto Rico? It's like listening to Robert Kiyosaki talking about a recession. There's a recession coming. There's a recession coming. It's like that with hurricanes. There's a hurricane coming. There's a hurricane. It's going to be a Cat 5, maybe a Cat 4, and then it gets downgraded to a tropical storm. So we'll see. We will see. And Mark, yeah, hope you're safe. Stay safe as best as possible. Ride that out. Jim says they ran that commercial multiple times last night on Fox during the World Series. I'm sure they were making fun of it afterwards. And then Ron says, Canada, that's what socialism looks like. Here's a question, because I'm only an outsider looking in. Does Canada have that big of a problem with healthcare and with the rising cost of goods and services? Is it that bad over there? Because like I see things on X and people just complain like nonstop about it. But I'm wondering, I wonder if that's really true. Here's a prime example. Have you heard about all the different things going on in the UK where people are getting arrested for social media posts? And they can't believe it. I see like one after the other, after the other, after the other. So the only person I know from the UK is Guy. So I asked him, I go, is that real? And he's like, it happens. He goes, but it's not as much as what you think it is. It's kind of like a rare type of occurrence. But to be fair, Guy does live in Dubai now. But I mean, he goes back every so often for the UK. I mean, every year. So I was like, well, he would know. So I'm just curious what the Canadians, the Canucks, have to say. Hated needs a Category 6 hurricane. I think President Trump should call it the crypto ballroom. Yeah. Pierre says trust is low since Trump is unpredictable. Asia is moving away from the US dollar and Bitcoin not seen as a safe haven for Asian money. That's true. We can see that China itself is accumulating a boatload of gold, which I'm sure that makes Peter Schiff a huge fan of China. He might say that he's not. I would be. If China bought up a bunch of Bitcoin, I'd be like, hey, great job, China. But they didn't. So I noticed from Japan. Yeah. Oh. Interesting. Darren says, and he's right, life is way easier DCAing Bitcoin and ETH than just holding on. That's very true. Bodan says, Rob, just go ahead and start that algo node. Yeah, you know, I reached out to some people for the Algorand Foundation, never heard back. So I was like, I'm not gonna do a node then. Solana, yeah. Why does everyone ignore Civic Network? No idea what that is. I converted all my Polkadot to Cardano. Hope that, well, it's not like Polkadot's on fire or anything, so sure. Zcash is doing God's work. Radio, what's that? It's for old people. Good evening, Kevin. I think we're good. And John Doe has solid points. All right, everybody. I think that's good. We're in 30 minutes. It's a pretty good time to leave it off there. Hey, tomorrow and Sunday, I'll be indisposed in the morning, but that'll probably be me and Jerry. I gotta get a hold of him. I don't know exactly when we'll do the live stream tomorrow with Jerry V. Hall, but if you have some requests, put them in the comments section underneath. That's it for tonight. So everybody, on your way out, if you do me a big favor, just hit the like button and subscribe. Not that YouTube will notify you anyhow, but good luck. That's it for tonight. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me for 31 minutes. It was fun times. I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.